Parents who came from abusive families, how did you break your generational toxic mold? I grew up in a trailer park where food was basically a rumor and insults were the daily special. My mom called me useless every morning like it was my name. Raven, get up, you useless piece of trash. My stepdad's belt had more personality than both of them combined, and way more conversation skills too. At 16, I stuffed everything I owned into 2 garbage bags and walked out. Didn't even look back. The neighbor lady watched me from her window, but didn't say anything. She knew what was up. I swore I'd never be like them. Never. I'd be the mom who actually cared. The one who said good morning instead of go to hell. I was gonna break this whole stupid cycle. Fast forward 8 years, and I'm standing in my kitchen watching my 5-year-old daughter Amy spill juice on the counter. Without thinking, I snapped at her in the exact same sharp voice I used to hear every day growing up. Get away from there before you make an even bigger mess. The words hung in the air like a slap. Amy's face crumpled up and she started crying. But it wasn't her tears that got me. It was the sound of my own voice. I sounded exactly like my mother. I locked myself in the bathroom and cried for 20 minutes straight. This was it. I was turning into them and I didn't even realize it was happening. The next week, I found a support group for parents who grew up in abusive homes. Walking into that community center felt like admitting I was broken. 12 people sitting in a circle looking just as lost as I felt. The group leader asked us to share why we were there. When it was my turn, I said, I don't know how to be a mom without repeating what I learned. I don't know how to discipline without screaming. I don't know how to love without conditions. A woman named Beth nodded and said she understood. She'd been coming for 3 years. Another guy named Tony said he almost hit his son last week and scared himself so bad he slept in his car. Week after week, we talked about breaking patterns. We practiced different ways to handle situations. Instead of yelling when Amy didn't listen, I learned to get down to her level and speak calmly. Instead of threatening punishment, I explained consequences. Money was still tight. We lived in a 1-bedroom apartment and I worked double shifts at the diner. But I made a promise to myself. Amy would never eat saltine crackers for dinner like I did as a kid. She'd never wonder if she was loved. I started new routines to replace the chaos I grew up with. Bedtime stories instead of screaming matches. Family dinners at our tiny table without anyone slamming doors or throwing plates. Saturday morning cartoons where we actually laughed together. The real test came when Amy turned 7 and some kid at school started picking on her, called her poor because her shoes had duct tape holding them together. She came home crying and told me what happened. My first instinct was to say what my mom always told me. Toughen up. Life's hard. Stop being a baby. The words were right there on my tongue, ready to come out. But instead I pulled her close and said, you don't deserve to be treated that way. That kid was wrong and mean and it's not your fault. She looked up at me with tears still on her cheeks and whispered, thanks for believing me, Mom. That's when I knew I'd broken it. The cycle stopped with me. Amy's growing up knowing she's wanted, loved, and heard.